Welcome back to Bills, Bets, and Beers. I'm your host, Chad. Uh, Big win this Sunday. Nice showing for Lamar Hamlin. And I don't know, it's just a good game all around. I mean, obviously, there's some bad, some good, but we'll be going through that this video. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel where I mostly talk about Bills football, the NFL in general, walk through my same game parlays I put in for the NFL every week. I like to hit every Thursday, Monday, and Sunday night football game. Of course, now there's no more Thursday nights, and there's gonna be only a couple more. I think one more Monday night game left. So just be doing a lot of Super Wild Card weekend betting. So that'll be another big video coming up later on. But yeah, if you like this channel, like the content so far, give me a like and subscribe, and that definitely helped me figure out what you guys are liking, what you guys aren't. If you guys have any feedback, give me a comment on anything you guys like, don't like. Always looking for anything from you guys. But yeah, let's get into this video. First, gotta talk about Damar. Huge update. I can't believe he's already back in Buffalo. I mean, to think that less than a week ago, he's back in Buffalo less than a week after that injury happened on the field. That just blows my mind. Like I said before, he's just like it's like a unicorn, man. It's like he came out of this situation like I don't think anyone has ever done before. At least from I don't know many people who've had their heart stop and then one Monday and come home out of a hospital in a completely different city within a week. I mean, that's counting travel time and everything. I mean, that's crazy to me. But yeah, let's get into the positives of this game. It's just that's super positive to hear. That Damar's doing great and he's back at Buffalo. I'm not sure, obviously, how much he's doing on his feet and stuff, but that's still super huge improvement to have him actually being able to leave that hospital. And it means they have done all the tests possible for him to leave, knowing that okay, you're good to go. We're not gonna worry about you. That's massive. But yeah, let's get into the positives from this game. So start off with the big one. Hines finally showing up. I mean, obviously he's been doing some good returns every once in a while and getting the like occasional 30 plus yards, 40 yards here, but he finally did it this game. And he did it twice. He did 2 kick returns to the house. And the most poetic thing ever, just starting this game, everything's ramping up, all this stuff for Damar, and then bam, right out the gate, touchdown. 6 on a kick return. That is massive. I mean, that gave so much energy and stuff to the game towards Buffalo, which they definitely needed it because that offense was not the greatest in the first half. I mean, they did score, but they had some bad things happen as well. But anyways, I don't know. That's I'll be talking about the negatives later on. I don't want to get too far into that conversation yet. But that's massive having those 2 kick returns because that means now teams are going to have to be worrying about that in the future. Obviously, they can just kick it farther, but in some big win games, that's going to come into play for us. And I think it's going to make it a little bit more interesting when the team has to worry about where they're kicking off to, in a sense. I don't think that they're worried about too much now. I mean, obviously, 2 in a game is more of like a random instance, but the fact that he was able to like do that twice in a game is massive, and I think it's going to be looked at by the opposing teams in the future, especially into the playoffs. Then you have that deep ball coming out of Allen's hands was beautiful last night. I mean, you look just how everything turned out. Everything wasn't going that well in the beginning. And you get into the second half, they get a lead. The Patriots get a lead on us, and then all of a sudden, Allen throws this big bomb, and I think it was Diggs that caught the first one, just catches it and gets where it goes. That's ridiculous. Like those types of throws are what we haven't seen in a while. I would say at least a good 4 or so game stretch, and it's just good to see it because we know that he has to have that arsenal in his bag because people are always going to worry about that deep ball from Allen, but he's been a little bit long on ones, short on others, and now he's hit multiple in a game. two big ones. Obviously, the one to John Brown as well. That was awesome seeing John Brown getting that touchdown, especially having that hard of a catch to get. I mean, obviously, right in the basket in a sense, but it hit his hands and he pulled it in. I mean, he was full on sprint till he got to that point. That's huge. So I mean, John Brown was definitely missed. And then you have some receivers that aren't catching deep balls that Ellen are throwing in. It's just troublesome in that sense, but that'll be, like I said, later category. Not much to talk about right now. It's just nice to see that we have that in there. And I think John Brown's definitely going to be getting called up during this postseason. And with Shakir showing out a little bit and stuff like that, I'm not sure how much we see of Beasley. I think we're still going to see a little bit of Beasley. Maybe I'm not sure if we bring up both of them because I think we only get it restarts. You get 3 call ups, so I don't think they would want to waste them all on the non if we get towards into the Super Bowl area. But against this Dolphins team, I'm not sure. Who knows? They might want to get Beasley out there, and they might want to get both Beasley and Brown in there. I think it could be definitely possible. But definitely something to think about for the next game coming up. Then our defense. It was very opportunistic. I mean, yes, they let a lot of big runs go, a couple big runs go through. But Trey White, Edmonds, and Milano all got picks. I mean, those are the 3 big key players on our defense, and they all made huge plays for us. That's good to see because there are times like that first Miami game, Milano pick hit him right in the hands and it got dropped. He was definitely upset about that because that would have been a pick 6. And there's just a couple things where it's like they've had the opportunities like where it is a bobbled pass and the Bills defenders both try to get it or something, or the pass should be picked, but both players try to get it and it doesn't get picked. So there's been some communication things like that going on where they haven't been able to actually get those picks and make points off of it. But it came up massive this game. 3 picks against obviously he's not the greatest quarterback, but Mac isn't bad. And this game we made him look above average, I think, in the first half. So definitely, I think they put everything out there. I think they knew we were going to try to stop that run. And they said, you know what, let's just do what they're going to not expect and throw the ball too much. But anyways, let's get to the last of my positives and we can go a little bit deeper. Okay, then I got Diggs plus Allen. That connection's huge. I mean, I looked back, which I didn't think was possible, but Diggs hadn't hit over 100 yards since before the Thanksgiving game. That is massive. That means he had almost all of November, and I think it was maybe it was like October was this last one, but he hadn't hit over 100 yards since I think it was early November all the way until that game yesterday, January 9th. I mean, January 7th. 8th. Jesus, I'm lost right now. But anyways, so that's huge. That's big for us. And then today he goes 7 for 10, 104 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, a lot of it came from that big touchdown pass, the 50-something yard pass to him. But it's just the fact that he had 6 more. I mean, he's getting 7 out of 10 targets. Obviously, there's been games where he hadn't got that many targets, and they're still not going to him all the time. But it's still big to see that they still have that huge connection going right into the postseason. And we're facing a familiar team. And when we faced them last time, Diggs didn't get that many yards. Obviously, there wasn't much passing going on that game. Well, there was some, but it was more of a running game, to be honest. So what you have to look at in this aspect is how are the Dolphins going to deal with him this week? I think they're still going to try to blanket him and have Gabe Davis beat him. Hopefully, Gabe Davis comes out big. Now with John, I think they're definitely going to call up John Brown to give him that factor on the outside, so they have to worry about going deep. And it's not just going to be all inside stuff. So this week's going to be massive, and I think Diggs and Allen are going to go off again and connect. And hopefully, with John Brown up there, John Brown's going to give him a chance to not be able to blanket Diggs as much. And then maybe Davis will get open a little bit more as well. Because Davis, he had a big postseason last year, and I don't think that's all he's known for. That's not all he's going to be known for. I think he definitely needed to step up a lot more this year. Had a lot of drop passes and stuff, but that, like I said, that'll be in the negatives and stuff. We're almost there. Um, actually, we're there right now. So negatives of this game. We didn't have that many penalties. We only had 2 penalties. But a big thing that I didn't like to see was that roughing the passer, which was to me. I'm not sure if I would have called that. Obviously, I don't know. Those calls are so hard to debate at all at this point. I mean, you touch him on the shoulder wrong, it's bad. But that hit didn't look that bad to be a roughing the passer to me. But just things like that where like you making him like those are the times we make the big penalties are when we have them done and shut on the defense, or we make a big play in the offense and it has to come back. We have to stop making big penalties like that. I know we didn't have many, so we did good last week. But games before, we've had having issues, and we had another big penalty this week. So it's just a little area of a concern in a sense, but not too great. I think we definitely cleaned up a lot. The holding wasn't all there, even going up against Judon and all that stuff. So I think though we did pretty good this week, but that's just a slight negative. Then turnovers. I mean, Jesus. 5 red zone interceptions for Allen this year. That is not good. He leads the league in that. I mean, that's not a category you want to be known for leading the league in. But he made up for it later. I mean, he does what he's been doing. If he doesn't come out hot, then the third and fourth quarters when he makes it up for everything. Yeah, he may make a mistake here and there, but he makes up for it and he brings us to the victory. But at this point, I think where the worry is really at is we can't have that stuff happen in the postseason. We're going to be going up against teams where this is their last chance. This is their last chance to do anything, and they're not going to go down easy. And even if they're down, even if we're winning by a decent amount, if we make one penalty like that in our red zone where we could have extended the league to shut them out, but instead you force something trying to do that and they get a pick right in the end zone or something around that area, that is going to be a huge turning point for that game, depending whenever that happens. So we can't have anything like that happen. God forbid it happens early. But and then obviously you had Singletary's fumble on the Bills' 9-yard line. We already were backed up. He made a good run to get up, like 4 or 5 more yards, and then he just got punched out. I mean, he's been good at holding the ball and not fumbling it this year. Actually, for a good couple of years now, a year or two now. Just he has to clean that up again. I mean, I know he beat himself up after that. I know he's going to work on it this week. But that's just something that you have to really thrive for is controlling that ball and not letting it get to the ground. Because that kills postseason sometimes. One fumble, especially that close to your end zone, is massive. And that it obviously they scored on that too. That was a big thing to keep them even close in this game and make us put more pressure on us. So good play for the Patriots, bad for Singletary. I mean, I think he's going to clean it up very. It's not even. You can't even say clean it up because he hasn't had a lot this year. But I don't think you're going to see many. You're going to see any more of those this postseason. I mean, I wouldn't bet my house on it, but I would definitely. I don't know. I bet it like a car payment, you know. But anyways, we just got to keep it clean. Like obviously, it's an obvious statement, but we've had some issues with some turnovers, so that's going to be it's a big statement for us. Then our secondary. Our secondary made Mac Jones look like an above average quarterback with above average weapons. I mean, he went. I think it was 1.15 for 15. I'm not sure how high it went, but that's ridiculous. You shouldn't. So The only thing I question, which doesn't really get him off the case in this, is what was the defensive scheme initially, and then after they killed you the first drive or so like that, why was it not switched up before the half? I'm not sure how often you can talk to the players and say, "Hey, listen, we're going to be doing this now," because I've never coached and done anything like that. But damn, like there should have been a change a little bit earlier because it seemed like they were still obviously they're still getting some big chunk runs, but we held them to 107 rushing yards, and that's not bad for that type of team. I mean, Mac had I think 7 of his own, so like or like 13 or like yeah, it was like 5 or so of his own. So like they were just over 100, like 102 between the two, Stevenson and Harris. So I mean, and Stevenson's a good back. You can't say he's not. So you got to think we held in the 107 yards. That's their big part of the game. But they went off for like 250 something in the air. That's we can't have stuff like that happening. I mean, I think it was even a little bit more than that. So it's like how you look at it is if it was scheme, then we have to change up scheme a little bit quicker because just like we did against the Dolphins, we go, hey, well, a little bit different. Like against the Dolphins, said, hey, we're gonna stop your passing, and we're gonna not give you, but we're gonna make you beat us with your running, and they almost did. That game was very close. Obviously, they had a couple big passes in there too, but it was mostly on the ground where they beat us up. I think that was scheme based then. But you got to question when do you switch up the scheme at some point to maneuver what they're trying to attempt. I don't. I think the Patriots came into this game knowing that. I think Belichick knew we were going to try to just take away the running because that's what everyone's been trying to do to them. And he said, "You know what, Mac, go out there and throw the ball as much as you want," because that was unseen and no one's going to guess that Mac was even going to go 15 for 15 or even throw that many passes in the first half. I mean, he's not known to be throwing that many balls. So and then the fact that they only ran 23 times, that's very low for the Patriots. So it just goes to show you that, like, yes, the Bills try to stop what they're good at, but then if another team catches on, like Dolphins coming up, if we can't have the same type of scheme coming into this game because they will take those runs in the beginning, and then after they get all those yards on those runs, then they're going to take advantage of us trying to come up to stop it, and then they're going to get their passes in. So we've got to stuff them early in that run game, and also keep them good on the back end. I mean, just tight enough where they're not getting those long balls. Let them get those 5-6 yarders here and there. But if we stuff them on the runs, that's going to leave them for like a 3rd and 3 at the end. And we've been decent with 3rd and shorts as of late. And I think we've been cleaning up our 3rd and long issue. But let's get to the next one. Rambled a little bit there. Rough start for Allen. I mean, he's had a decent amount of rough starts this past 4 or 5 games. It hasn't been the greatest. And usually in the second half he makes up for it. But against a good team, we can't have that. He did land it, like I said, he did end on a strong note. That was good to see. But we need to see at least 3 quarters of that type of Allen. 3 quarters of this last quarter Allen that we've been seeing. Because there's just it seems like he's it seems like he's acting not himself in the beginning, not the quarterback we know he is, and he's shown to be. Like there's a massive difference between that first half and the first quarter or so, and then that Diggs touchdown. You go, that's an amazing throw, but then everything else, he's just having some issues, like where he's just overthinking things or trying to force it, and we can't be doing stuff like that. That's not good. I mean, you could tell once he starts forcing it, especially towards that red zone area, it's just picks. There's so many picks in that 5 picks throughout the whole season in that area, and I think I think he's his biggest critic, and I think he beats himself up more than anyone else could about this. So I know he's good. He's going to be working on it. He's going to be trying to focus. I think everyone was kind of like adrenaline rush to getting in this game do it for Hamlin, do it for Hamlin. I think now we're kind of a slow down in a sense and say, let's get into postseason mode. Everything's here. Everything's so this could be our last game, last play, but don't force it if you don't have to. Play the play that's gonna make sense. And if you have to force it, make a good throw and have that receiver make a good catch. But anyways, let's get into this last one. Run game was good. Yeah, I mean, good enough. You had Cook going over there, 9 attempts for 45 yards. That's big, 5 yards a carry. Singletary obviously had the fumble. He didn't have that many yards. But Allen had 9 attempts. I mean, you don't care when Allen gets 9 attempts. It's not that big a deal. But the fact that he's getting 9 attempts and that's tied the most like rush attempts with Cook. I mean, Singletary is usually the one getting more runs at the back, and then usually you're dumping off the ball to Cook more. So it's like, I get maybe it was play calling, maybe it was like choosing to take the run. Like, obviously there's options and all that stuff like that, but you gotta I don't know. They just have to be a little bit more consistent with giving the running back the ball. Because everyone knows when you get towards the third and like a 2nd and 3, and they're gonna run, looks like a run. Allen's most likely gonna take that. Especially when it gets to 3rd downs, he's definitely gonna take it. But what I did like to see was they're giving the running back the ball a lot more on those 3rd and shorts. I think there's 1 or 2 Allen ones on this game, if 2. So I mean, they're giving the ball, and the Cook and Singletary are getting those hard yards. It's good to see, but you're not seeing them just when it's like I don't know. You're just not seeing it as much when like Allen just takes the ball and goes, and when he shouldn't. I'm not sure if it's play calling. I'm not sure if it's Allen taking control and saying, "Hey, I got this," because he's a big guy and he likes to be in those scenarios. So I just think they have to kind of clean up that a little bit to keep our run game solid. I mean, it was still around 50-50 with rushing and passing. So it wasn't that far off. Obviously, passing led a little bit more this time. But we definitely have to have a decent run game if we're going to want to make the Super Bowl run, to make people not make it so easy to basically stop the run game and make us one-dimensional. Because one-dimensional, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Josh, and he's good under pressure, but he makes a lot of risky throws then, and that's when we get those interceptions. So it's nice to have a running game, take the pressure off him a tiny bit so he can just play comfortable and not like too stressed in a sense. I think he likes stress, but at least that's what it seems like. That's from his conversations with the media and stuff like that. But to a certain point, stress is not good. And it makes you make a bad or a good decision. Sometimes a bad decision turns into a good one, but sometimes it just is bad. So, as the 5 red zone interceptions, those are the bad side. But yeah, that's it for the negatives. Obviously, there can be more, but I got another little thing I'm gonna do. It's areas of concern, things where I think when you're thinking, oh, we're going to this postseason, it's gonna be are you feeling super confident? I'm not the most confident, but I know we can get past Miami. I'm pretty confident in that. Even if Tua plays, I think we can. I think it'd be risky for Miami to play him, but in this scenario, I don't see why if they're willing to let him play, he's going to be out there. I'm not sure. I think he wants to play. I think if the organization's willing to put him out there, which they're going to, no matter if it's Tua's decision or whatever, they're going to get flack for it. Doesn't matter whose decision it is. If they say, "Well, Tua fought really hard to get out there," it doesn't matter. You're supposed to think of the health of the player. So you're not going to win either way. So that's going to be the interesting story this week. But yeah. Anyways, some areas of concern for me were Gabe Davis's drop issue and just not catching those balls that he's snagged balls out of the air. He's done one-handed catch. He's done things like that throughout the year, and the times we've had him. But it's this year. It seems like he's having a lot of drops, like important drops, a lot of touchdown drops per se. Like that one ball, Allen tossed it out right there. He had the guy beat enough, and all he had to do was catch it. It damn hit his hands, and when he was bringing it down, it didn't. It's just a little error. Obviously, everything real time is a lot harder, but that just throws you off that he didn't catch that ball. And I'm hoping this issue goes away. I'm hoping the post game Gabe comes out and he gets 2 touchdowns next week. That'd be great to see, especially if John Brown and, like I said, John Brown and Diggs, Davis, and like Shakir or even Beasley or McKenzie are out there. I could see him getting less attention and getting those yards and getting those touchdowns. He has the opportunity. He has the height. He has the playability to do it. It's just maybe it's something in his head. Maybe like where he's got too much going on, where he's thinking, "Oh, I'm going to drop this many times. I can't. I got to catch this for this, for this, for this." But I think he's going to make a turnaround, and that's just my small area of concern. Is we need him to make a little turnaround to get that pressure away from Diggs, so he can make those other bigger catches too. Then the run defense was letting up a lot of big runs lately. I mean, chunk runs. They do decent enough, and then there's a lot of missed tackles or a lot of broken tackles, and then they go off for like 15, 16 yards. You can't have that. And going up against the teams are going to be Mostert is coming back in. He's playing. I think he's going to have the hot hand again, where he's going to be getting a lot of runs because we're going to be trying to stop him downfield and getting those long passing yards. I think now having a couple weeks after this, you're going to see White being a little bit more into his zone and doing his own thing, where he's going to be back to almost last year, like before the injury, Trey White. I don't think he's fully there yet, but he's definitely closer than he was the last time we faced him, even though it's only been a couple weeks. A couple weeks helps a lot. But yeah, that's just something to worry about with this run defense, where you're stopping small, like keeping it to short gains, and you're keeping them underneath so many yards, but those big rushing yard gains killed us this game, and that could have been the end. I mean, honestly, those 2 kick returns definitely saved us a lot. Saved us from having a lot more stress on us that game, especially the players on that game, because that would have changed the tide a lot. Obviously, who knows what they could have done at least on those plays if they didn't get that kick return. Who knows? Maybe they could have brought it down, marched it on the field. They got 2 touchdowns that way. Maybe they would have been a little bit more hot going hot off the start, having to score those points, having to get those hard yards. But they definitely helped out a lot having those kick returns. That gave us the cushion we needed. But anyways, and then the secondary just let up too many big plays. Fonte Parker was eating out there. He burned pretty much everyone in the secondary, so not good when we have Tyreek and Waddle coming back into this game. Obviously, I think they're both a little banged up still. They're still going to be playing. Doesn't matter. They got enough stuff running through their bodies that they're going to basically not feel it much. They definitely have stuff to keep NFL players on the field. So, this could be a little troublesome, but it could be a very interesting game. Like I said, if Tua is in there, whatnot, doesn't matter. But yeah, that's it for that. And I got a good thing for you guys. I'm going to be doing a tasting and rating of a tasty brew. I was drinking this earlier a little bit, but it's one of my favorite brands. Voodoo Ranger. New Belgium makes it. And this time, instead of the Juice Force, they went the other way. It's Fruit Force. It's a fruit punch IPA. Here's the can. It's really cool. I mean, I like it. Like you're in the sky, just nonchalant. I don't know. I think it's really cool. I like that color blue. Um, that's really good. I mean, I would almost put this above Juice Force just because it's a little bit easier on the taste. Like it goes down a little bit smoother. I think because obviously fruits have there's a little more sugar in it, which would definitely boost this up to that 9.5. But yeah, I mean, let me see if I can. You can tell it's like a thicker thicker Budweiser color. I like that thick like beer color where it's just like it has that all that flavor and all that stuff in there. So yeah, for taste, I'm gonna give that a 9. That's way up there for me. I usually obviously there's a lot different tastes and stuff like that, but that's really good. Color, I give it like a 8 as well. I just like I said, that's one of my favorite ones. Besides amber, I like a lot more. I like the redness of it, but this is like a dark yellow, and it just I don't know, just you can tell if you see a beer like that, you know it's gonna be very flavorful and nice. Um, and definitely pack a punch too, because that's usually when they're higher concentrate. Um, then drinkability, like I said, I would give this very high drinkability. I think I'd give it like 8.5. It's so smooth and definitely has tons of notes of like obviously it's called fruit punch, but I kind of taste the fruit punch to be honest. Maybe it's that's my mind, but I could definitely taste something that's a beer that I could that's more dangerous than the Juice Force, hands down. Same percentage though, 9.5. Um, bingeability, binging this would be like 5 or 6, and I think you could easily binge this. So I would give this like a 8.5. And then I mean, I already showed you earlier, but I mean, uh, you can't beat that. I mean, it's very simple, simplistic, but it has like the orange juice on it by his helmet. I mean, it has all the straps, all the like fruit patches and like volleyball and things on his jacket and stuff like that. I mean, it's just very simple but very nice. I like it. I give that like 8.5. I always love the designs of those, so I'm a little unfair, I guess, on that. I could be biased though. It's my show, so it doesn't matter. I think I should make that the top rated one, though. To be honest. But yeah, that's it for the tasting and rating. Um, Now let's finish it up. I got some shout out to my sponsors. I got my wife. She has her Instagram page. Check it out. It's a business page. It's Crochet with Elisha. That's Crochet WITHELISHA. Check out her page. It's really good. Um, does a lot of nice stuff on there. I think you guys are gonna like it. She does hats, mittens, gloves, like beanies, scarves, cardigans, anything you could think of from like found a little toddler infants all the way up to full grown adults any size. I mean, for anybody, she's probably just need some little measurements so she knows what size you are, and all these things like arms, waist, like everything like that. Um, then she can tell how much yarn she's going to need, what kind of pattern she's going to get, and then she can reach out to you guys with a price and stuff when you talk to her. But she also makes beer koozies, bikini tops, bottoms. I mean, pretty much anything you could think of, dolls and stuff like that. Check out the page. You can see some of the stuff she's made. Um, Also, check out my buddy Evan. He's got a channel. Links to it's over there. um, it's Mr. Nasty Time. It's MR_NASTYTYYYME. Um, he does a lot of stuff on the NFL. He's been doing a lot of streaming as well since he moved from Twitch. He does Warzone 2.0. He's been playing this Mass Effect collection game on there as well. And I know their Madden franchise got messed up, but he's been doing the Madden franchise. I think he's restarting that up again. He does a lot of cool stuff on there. He has a lot of good knowledge, and the chat gets pretty crazy. So if you're sensitive, don't listen to it too much. But it gets good. It keeps you entertained. I love it. But Yeah, check out his channel. He's to be doing. I think this Thursday he's to be doing a playoff reaction reaction preview prediction uh for this super wild card weekend coming up. So definitely watch out for that. And last but not least, my upcoming videos. I know I slacked last week, but I'm gonna get back into it again. Just with all that stuff going on, everything kind of colliding together with family stuff, I didn't have as much time as I wanted. But I'm gonna be doing some videos this week. I'm gonna be doing Bills versus Fins preview and prediction video. I'm gonna bring my brother on that game. I wanted to bring him on here because he was actually at that Patriots game. I let his wife take my ticket for that. But me and him are be going up to this Dolphins playoff game, so that's gonna be massive. So it's gonna be nice to get his input on it and get a little input from the last game. Then we could do. I'm gonna be doing some playoff reaction and super wild card weekend predictions, um, as well as some. And then next, probably by Friday, probably Thursday or Friday, I'll drop the super wild card weekend same game parlays. And obviously after the Bills game, I'm gonna be dropping a Bills versus Fins post game recap. I might do that shortly after the game, or at least have it posted by that Monday. That's gonna be it for me. Hopefully, you guys had a nice time, and go Bills. I'm out.